Welcome, Rebel Queens.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having
Hey.
us.
Hey, please tell everybody about who you are and a little bit about what each of you do.
Hey, I'm Tiffany. I started Rebel Queens many years ago. I play the vocals in the band.
Hi, I'm Lou. I play the bass, so I bring the funk. I've been with the band now for about 2 years,
Something
close
like
to
that.
something around there. So
Nice.
relatively new, but really enjoying it.
Awesome. And what are your zodiac signs?
Virgo. Well, do you
Okay.
want to do all three? Like
Oh,
these,
you can give me all three.
yes,
Why not?
Virgo sun, Pisces moon, Sagittarius rising.
Oh my gosh, what a set. You're like perfect.
It also
Um,
sounds insane, but yeah.
because I'm a Scorpio sun, Virgo moon, and I think Sagittarius rising. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Lou, how are you gonna follow that?
I don't want to because everyone's gonna hate me. I'm a Gemini sun, a Gemini moon, and an Aquarius rising.
Oh my God, made to be a rock star.
Yeah,
She's got a
something.
lot
That's a
of
nice way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've
personalities.
got
Um,
like all of that like magical attitude and the drama.
Hmm. Yeah.
Perfect for a rock star. Okay, so when did you each realize that you loved rock music, metal music, and you wanted to create more of it?
Yeah, I'll start. I first was kind of exposed to that when I was a kid. My mom took me to see No Doubt play, Gwen Stefani fronting. So that was kind of my first. She was just like, "Hey, want to go to this concert?" And I was like, "Sure, sounds good. I like the songs they had on the radio." And then I saw Weezer, and they were like opening for No Doubt. And then I kind of started getting into the music around that time, like in the late 90s. So like Nirvana and all this stuff. Of course, they were already done, but I started getting more into rock music then. And then yeah, I decided I always kind of wanted to be involved in music forever, really, but I discovered I could probably do it myself when I started getting into Joan Jett, and I was like, she just did it her way. She made it work for her. And
Sure
you
did.
don't have to sing super pretty. You can be more, raw and rugged with it. And that made me actually want to do it for myself.
mhm.
What about you?
Yeah.
I kind of grew up in a house that always listened to like classic rock and things like that, so I was always kind of exposed to it. I would say my parents don't have a musical bone in their body. I love them though. But I, at a very young age, wanted to start music. So when I was 6, I started playing violin, and then when I really got into my own music taste and figuring out what I liked, in like 6th grade, age 12 or something like that. That's when I pretty much focused on guitar and kind of taught myself a little bit on drums, a little bit on bass here and there. Just tried to make myself as versatile as possible, learning all these things because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But
It is.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
It still
so smart to be versatile too, because like no one is more popular than a metal drummer.
is.
Everybody wants to hang out with their own metal drummer.
Hard to find a good, like, reliable drummer that's not already
Yeah.
in 1,000 other projects.
Yeah, yeah. If there's a person, a young person watching this episode and they're like, I don't care what I play as long as I'm in a rock band, pick the drums.
Hmm.
You'll be
Yeah.
in a band.
I would say bass too. People are always looking for a bass player because everybody plays guitar.
Mm.
And they're like, fine, I guess I'll play bass if I have to, but a real bass player is hard to find.
I like it. I love it.
I love bass too. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
singing thunder. It's
Hmm.
definitely my first choice.
That's
So,
that's good.
um, okay, if Rebel Queens were a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about? Who's the lead and who's the antagonist?
Oh, oh, the man is always the antagonist.
mm.
Okay, but what actor is going to play the man in your movie? Who's the actor that's the villain for you?
Oh, I don't want to say it because it's too political. So we
But wait, I think we all know.
I don't know, really. Who would be a good, what about like, who would be a good actor though that would be like
I don't
the
know.
man?
I don't know.
I wish I knew actors. I'm so bad at it. Let's just go with like John Stamos.
Oh, okay.
He
Oh, I
can
was gonna throw some out there. I'm like, are we going like villain like Donnie DeVito or like Christopher Lee? Like,
see. I'm gonna go with Uncle Jesse because he's probably never played a bad boy before. So let's just go it.
I'm gonna say Gary Busey just to shake things up.
and then what about the hero or the heroine?
The hero,
A band.
somebody who's, I'm gonna say I think Kristen Stewart because
Oh, okay.
because she's kind of seems like she doesn't really necessarily know what she's doing, but she just kind of goes with it and she brings herself in every role. And like I feel I kind of am like that. It's
Okay,
Kristen
and
Stewart playing me because of course I'm the hero in that.
naturally. Oh, blonde Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
And then like what's the story arc? Like what's the big challenge and achievement?
Yes.
The Rebel Queens, the
I'm
movie.
gonna say it's like a coming of age movie.
An 80s coming of age movie.
Yes, yes, where Kristen Stewart decides to start a band and
Like the Runaways.
yeah, and she had like the Runaways. That's right. And then that's funny. And then, she just comes into challenges. It's basically the Runaways movie, You get
Okay.
different people
Yeah.
involved in the band and all the struggles that come with that. And then it ends with us. What does it end with?
Um, Playing Madison Square Garden and everyone living happily ever after.
Or alternate ending being we end up replacing every remaining member in Motley Crue.
Which is what
Oh,
needs to
yeah.
be.
Yeah. I like that. Slow inception.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. You're creating a vision board and you can put 3 pieces of any rock memorabilia of all time on this vision board. Anything. What would it be for each of you?
You gotta go for this one first.
I would say Stevie Ray Vaughan's hats because he had the coolest hats ever.
Mm-hmm.
Joan Jett's leather jacket from back in the day because, every girl needs a little leather in her life.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, probably Elton John's sunglasses because, goddamn, that man has riz. He has lots and lots of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, definitely. You know who else had great
Good idea.
sunglasses?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins,
Oh,
yes,
she loves Bootsy.
I do. I'm a big Elton fan too, though, so I just had to.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna say Janis Joplin's one of her like boas.
Oh, nice.
I feel that would give me a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Then I might steal your hat idea. Maybe Lemmy's hat.
Okay.
Ooh.
That will give me also a superpower, I think. And then maybe like Cherie Curry's like corset thing.
Oh, good. Good
The cherry
choice.
bomb thing. That'd be
Good choice.
also a superpower.
Love it. If you could pick the lineup for a festival, a dream festival, and you could put anyone on the lineup, you're playing as well. As many bands as you want or as few as you want. Who would be on this lineup? And where would this fest take place?
Okay. A reunited Runaways.
Mhm.
And then let's put No Doubt on there. It was my first concert.
Good choice.
Um, who else?
I think we should definitely add L7 to the list.
L7, love them.
Janis Joplin would
Janis
be pretty
Joplin,
amazing.
very
Mhm.
inspirational in my singing and
Basically, this is just like a girl power show.
yeah.
Female
Yeah,
front.
the,
No Doubt has guys. There's guys in
It's
No
a
Doubt.
female fronted amazingness.
Yes.
yeah.
Where would it be? Oh, where's a cool place?
It could be anywhere. It could be the Mars space station. It could be in a fjord. It could be on a cruise ship. It could be in a jungle. It could be in the White House.
I think this one should definitely be at Venus. Because
Okay.
Venus.
Yeah.
Love it. Can't wait to see all the 1990s silver space Venus outfits.
Right.
Yeah. This sounds good to me.
Yeah, but rock and roll.
Yes.
It sounds actually like many Doro Pesh photo shoots.
Totally. Totally.
It does.
Oh, she's so cool.
Um, looking back for each of you on all of your adventures and the twists and turns of life, What was a big decision that you made that turned out to be a great choice?
Oh boy. Um, I'm gonna say mine was probably band related, was probably when when I first started the band, I found some people to be in it with me, and we just kind of started going. And I initially was like, hey, we should make this like an LLC, like all together, and we all like own this and do all this stuff. And then my bass player at the time was like, you did all this, you put this together, like you should just have this, you should just have it be yours. And that ended up being great because, not everybody always wants to stick around for the long run, and things change and whatever for people. So it's been like, it's challenging, but it's also just been really rewarding to be able to just own that and do it
Mhm.
all. So yeah, that's probably mine.
Yeah, a follow-up question about that.
Mhm.
Um, as a woman in rock, now you're the figurehead of Rebel Queen, and you how do you think that you have worked in ways that have served you as the leader of this group and ways that you would have done differently if you could have? Like, for example, Marky from Stormhouse had to refill her lineup after a while, and that's when she realized that the band was really hers and that she was really like the band. And she realized in the second rendition of the lineup that she needed to use her own face a lot more in the marketing
Mhm.
because she learned that she was the one that was gonna always stay in the band.
Yeah.
Are there things like that for you that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, don't put people's faces on t-shirts. No.
Oh, okay. That's actually a great tip.
I'm
Really
kidding.
good.
I've just come to appreciate who's in the band at the time and play to their strengths too, like playing to my strengths. But then also I am still not afraid to let them be featured because like they deserve to be featured just as much as me, and they're, everybody's a big part of the band, and they all bring something to the table, and it's okay if they end up leaving and I keep going. Or I've just kind of come to terms more with that myself. I know fans can get upset more than a lot of times the band members do, but you know you just I just came to terms with that, and I feel like just okay no matter what happens.
That's a huge strength to have. Dealing with like lineup changes is really hard for some people. Some people are
Yeah.
like freaked out by having hired guns when they go on tour. When you have that last minute thing, like your drummer broke their foot, now you
Yeah.
got to find somebody, stuff like that. So to have come to terms with just like lineup changes happen
Hmm.
is a great strength.
The first one's definitely the scariest, but then if you can get through that, then you can kind of just, I feel like you just figure it out.
I gotta put you in a group chat with Ann Thor from Rope because you 2 are just like your vibes really match. She is
Awesome.
like a longtime friend of mine, so I think that you are going to love each other's company. So
Yeah.
Lou, what about you? What's a big decision that you made that turned out to be a great choice?
So I'm originally from Minnesota, but a few years ago I went and moved out to LA to try the whole music scene thing out there. So I lived out there for about 3 years, and I actually played in another all-girl style rock punk band while I was out there. But one of the hardest decisions was kind of knowing when I was ready to leave that scene in LA and come back home, because I was really unsure about what the music scene had to offer me at the time back home.
Mhm.
So I was very stressed out and worried about, like, okay, well, if I'm leaving this, then there's not really a guarantee I'll be doing anything with music when I go back, but I need to go make this decision and do this. And it turned out to be one of the best decisions ever, because a few months later, I got a message from Tiffany saying she needed a bassist. So I went and bought a bass for the audition, ended up getting the gig, and I have not put it down since. So it turned out to be one of the best but scariest decisions to leave all that behind and just jump into something else. But
Yeah,
very
okay.
good.
follow-up question for that. When was the moment when you had your coming to terms in LA that it was time to try something new?
I'd say when I was working close to like 60 hours a week and just trying to survive on my own out there. And I mean, financially, it was getting hard, and having my car broken into all the time, and having some music equipment stolen from people or from me by people, it just was like all adding up to being like, oh, maybe I just shouldn't be out here right now because it's just not working out. It's
Yeah.
just like a bunch of different little things, but I think I stayed out there probably longer than what I really wanted to, just to try to make things work. But yeah, I think at some point everyone just reaches their breaking point with things, or something's got to change, and ended up being a great change.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to look at that because, like, oh, Carly from Crossed Hearts, she was in Seattle and then Chicago for a while before she went back to the South when I was talking to her about that. We, because I also had my 3 years on the West Coast, and it's like when you change the context of your values, it really tests which ones hold true and which ones you discover a new part of yourself with. And sometimes your values show you that getting your car broken into every week is just not going to work for you.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so it's actually great to learn these things and be like, you know what? But we also live in a brave new world of technology and connection, and you don't have to be physically located anywhere
Right.
anymore to make what you want to make, which is, I think, so helpful for women because, like, we do want to collaborate and work together, but
Mhm.
the number of female musicians in each locality is so small that there's really low odds that everybody in that locality will play the right instrument and want to play the same kind of rock or metal to form a band.
Right.
Mhm.
If that doesn't work out, then you have to somehow break into the boys club. So, which is
Yep.
also doable. But thanks to, those giant chords at the bottom of the ocean, now we can do distance recording and everything, and even distance auditions. So, um, what does oh, this is a new question. You are my guinea pig.
Uh-oh.
So, following those reflections, what does it feel like to you when your intuition is speaking? And to give you an example, when my intuition is speaking, I get a little twinkling, like, I don't think this is going to turn out like that. I think it's going to turn out like this. And then I, or it feels a little uneasy. And then I start trying to logic my way through it. And I've come to recognize in the moment where I start going, what do I know? I can Google it. Maybe I'll find out the right answer somewhere in somebody else's brain instead of listening to what's happening in mine. Then that's when I go, oh, wait, that's intuition. That's the moment where I have to stop and say, for whatever reason, I believe it's going to happen that way. When does it happen to you? What does it feel like?
Honestly, you described that so
Like
well. Like
perfectly.
I feel like that's got to be pretty universal. We get a feeling we're like, oh, I don't know if that's a good idea, and then you somehow are like, well, but, and then you just like kind of come up with all these reasons, which I don't know why we do that, but sometimes we want to do what we want to do, and it doesn't even like you just nothing's gonna stop you. But
Mhm.
if you can learn to listen to that, if I could learn to listen to that, I think we'd probably all be a little bit better off. But we're just so focused on logic a lot of the time that it's, yeah, for
Mhm.
me, I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but that sounded literally spot on.
Well, I think we're told that like logic brain is better than emotional brain, but it's not always, right? Like because
Mhm.
intuition is like not logical. It's not logical.
Yeah.
So, it is my word of the year, intuition. I'm doing this exercise where I write down like those twinkling moments on a pink sticky note and stick it on my crystal ball, and I return to it in time to see if the twinklings are true. And if I get like a high score on those twinklings, there will be no more logic for me. So
Just no more.
yeah, we're
That's
done with that.
awesome.
Intuition. That's so cool.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
seriously
I hope
cool.
everybody tries it. So what if we just had this like super group intuition and like solid telekinesis and stuff.
Well,
That'd be
Anyway,
so cool. I'm
what are you
down. I'm
writing
in.
down? Are you writing down like what it was about or
I'm
what?
writing down stuff like there's somebody in my life and I think that they're going to lose their house. And I had that feeling very early on, basically as soon as they said they were buying a house. And
Mhm.
I had no reason to believe they were different from anyone else and they would be incapable of owning a house. But I just felt like that was what was going to happen. So I put it on the sticky note and I waited and everything keeps on like moving in that direction. And like I haven't figured out yet if like they'll lose their house, but
Mhm.
we'll see soon or maybe not.
I'd be afraid to write that down because I feel like somehow I'm all of a sudden like manifesting that. Unless it was like positive. I'd be like afraid that somehow now I'm seeing this and now I'm like,
Responsible for it.
yeah, like I'm like somehow putting some sort of energy into that.
Yeah, it's like the portrait of Dorian Gray.
That's scary.
Yeah, where like if you guys don't know the story, the portrait of Dorian Gray, he's the artist, and every time he paints somebody, they die. So he paints a
Oh,
picture of
yeah.
himself or whatever. And then he's immortal.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, well, I also write good things on the sticky note. There's a variety of stuff there,
Yes.
but it's
Yeah.
just like whenever somebody says something to me, and I'm like, I think that this thing will go in one of these directions. Not even in one of these directions. That's this direction that I think it's going to go in. So yeah, so I thought I'd just start asking other people when they could recognize their intuition because if we could practice listening to that, like what would life be like?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Um, okay, moving on. What is your favorite gear and your favorite stage wear?
Ooh, I'm gonna say my favorite stage wear is my snakeskin tights.
Mhm.
And then my favorite gear is not even mine, but we have our guitar player brings an in-ear rig where we can control our own in-ears and it's just magical.
It's
It's like
amazing.
it's
What?
changing.
What? What is
We
that
don't have to rely
called?
on people to like mix for us, you know, we can just do it on our phones.
It's super
It's
convenient.
amazing.
What
Yeah.
is it called?
Boy, I don't even know. I have to message it to
Yeah.
you later.
Okay,
We'll
yeah,
find
send it
out
to
for
me
you.
later.
She's like
That
just a
sounds
major sound person, so our guitar player knows all about all this stuff. So she just
Mhm.
brings this big box and it's magic.
It's a magic box. Yeah.
wow.
Magic box.
Magic in your rig box.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, what about you?
Okay, Lou.
I would say my favorite gear is my basses. I have started my little regime of Schecter basses that I am collecting and using, and that's definitely my favorite part, I guess. I know it's pretty basic, but
It's basic.
basic, yes.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, but as far as clothes and things, I'd say my leopard pants I love, and then I probably go through at least half a can hairspray each show, backing
And your
up my hair.
sunglasses.
Oh, and my sunglasses, yes. Yeah.
What's your favorite hairspray?
The cheap kind that
Is it
holds my
Tresemme?
hair. Yeah,
Isn't it
is it
Tresemme?
Tresemme?
It's
I
like
don't know.
a big black
Oh, that
spray
sounds like
hairspray.
Tresemme.
Got the extra hold or something like that. I do a lot of back combing anyway, so the judging.
The zhuzhing. Tresemme hairspray, leopard pants, and a base.
Pretty basic,
And the
and the
sunglasses.
sunnies, yeah.
And the sunnies. And the sunnies. Do you have a sunny collection or is it that pair?
Pretty much this pair. I have multiple backup pairs of these actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Committed. You know what you like.
I do.
Okay. Um, Now another big question. When you hit that inevitable flaming hoop in the circus, like those lineup changes, a tour is delayed, an album art isn't ready, so an album is delayed, that kind of stuff. What is something that helps you keep a positive attitude?
Um, and I would say just like being able to work through and see how I can problem solve situations. It's nice that we have five amazing like women in this group that are all very level-headed, very smart, and can really bounce ideas off each other on how to best go about things when it doesn't go right. I'd say that whenever we do encounter problems, we're usually able to fix them pretty quicker, get a handle on it in some way or be able to like rearrange things the way we need to. But I think just knowing that I've got these people working with me is what keeps me calm and grounded because I know we're always going to figure something out.
All right. So the team,
Mhm.
teamwork.
Yeah, same. I just try to trust that everything's gonna work out just based on my experience. Something lineup change, someone always materializes eventually, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know. There's just stuff always seems to work out when it needs to.
Mhm.
Okay. So just like trusting that it'll work out.
Your intuition.
It
Mhm.
sounds like it. I was gonna say that. And I guess like do you ever find that there's like a mantra that comes to mind? Like, is it for you? It'll work out. Like that kind of a mantra or
That's pretty much mine. Yeah, like it's all gonna work out the way it's supposed to.
Mhm.
okay. And what about you, Lou? Is there a role model, a mantra, anything?
Um, I'd say pretty much in line with what you just said too. You just got to kind of have faith in the process and um, not stress about it too much because the more you stress about it, more energy you're giving into that problem anyway. So might as well just relax and know that it'll be okay regardless.
Yeah.
Such a basest attitude. Like never worried.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's a performance memory that you'll never forget?
Hmm. Oh gosh. My like probably it was probably in like 2017. I had my first kind of like full circle-ish moment, which is I was like maybe 9 or 8, and I really loved this song by En Vogue that was out at the time. They're like kind of
Mhm.
an R&B girl singing group. And then just like randomly, we were asked to open for them at the show in 2017. And it was just cool for me because I was like, that was like one of the first times I really like felt a song like
Aw,
heart. I was like a little kid and I was like, oh, this song is just
Oh.
so it just hits me, and like so that was pretty cool.
wait, what
Getting,
was the song?
I can't remember what the actual title is, but it was just this hit song that they played on the radio all the time back then.
Okay, yes, send it to me later.
Yes, there was two songs that really moved me for the first time. It was that one and it was Don't Speak by No Doubt. I was just like, oh,
Yes.
I didn't even know like I'd never been in a relationship or anything, but it was
That's
just
so
I just
funny.
felt it. It was just a cool moment. But yeah, anytime you get to play with people in that kind of thing where it's like, oh, I kind of looked up to you and now like I get to, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's cool.
Hmm.
What do you think?
I'd say one of my most memorable is probably this past summer. We played a show down in Mankato, Minnesota, which is a town I actually lived in for like 5 years back in my younger years. And we played this event called Rib Fest that they do every year where they just have a bunch of really cool artists, musicians come in and play shows and people hang out and eat food and it's a fun time. But I remember always going there when I lived there, and then this year I actually got to play on stage there, which was a really cool full circle moment. We got to
Mhm.
open up for LA Guns and Tom Keeper from Cinderella.
Oh,
So
cool.
that was like just a really fun, high energy day for me. And it actually was the day that kicked off a week at Sturgis for us too. So that was just like
Yeah.
the best like kickoff to like a really fun week, full circle moment show, opening up for like legendary bands and artists right now. It was really cool.
Yeah, and then to do it all at Sturgis. Let's see. It's like isn't the town where it is called Butt or something? I drove through once. My parents
Oh
were
yes, Bear Butte. We did climb Bear
Oh,
Butte. And Full Throttle is right outside of there, which is called Vale is the town. It's like Vale something.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place out there, Kadoka, that I stopped in.
Okay.
That's
South Dakota is
anyway.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we also played
know,
in Redwood and then
isn't
we played
it?
in Sturgis.
the Black Hills are
So
amazing.
They
beautiful.
are. Yeah, the Badlands are like really wild too. It's funny because like I'm all over on the East Coast, and so it's like when you hear about like the Dakotas, it doesn't really sound like an interesting place. And then the first time I went, I was like, wow, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So very underrated. Don't move
Did you go to
there anymore.
Waldrug?
What?
Did you go to Waldrug?
No.
Oh, do it next
Next time.
time.
Next time. Um, After a long day of recording, touring, or otherwise working out the kinks, how do you most like to practice self-care?
Oh boy, let's see. What do I do after? Okay, after like a weekend or a few days of shows, I will definitely have a beer and some French fries,
Mhm.
and then I will stay in bed as long as possible the next day.
Cute.
What about you?
I like to unwind with, just how do I say this without being
With
so
A bowl of
blunt
cereal?
about it.
Yeah.
I like to relax and
Mhm.
just hang out outside and yeah, like she said, have a beer, try to sleep in at least one day out of the week and recover,
Mhm.
rest.
Oh man. Should ask you guys for sleep tips. But let's yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you have any new announcements?
Well, all of our, big stuff is kind of for this year has kind of like,
Started to wrap up.
started to wrap up, but we still do have a lot of really cool shows coming up in just like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. Now we're kind of here for the rest of the year. A lot of cool stuff coming up. We're gonna have a cool Halloween show,
Cool New Year's show.
cool New Year's show. Some of this hasn't been fully announced yet, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Nice. And how can everyone follow what you do and where do they find your music?
Yeah, a good place to start is our website, rebelqueens.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. All our social media links are on there, Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram, Facebook,
And
TikTok.
nice.
We're not that great at keeping up with TikTok, but we try.
Lord knows we try.
Lord knows we try.
That's a job unto itself for real. But
Yeah,
the website sounds great. Nice, easy little basket of links for everyone.
yeah, yep.
All right. So now we will play the vinyl game.
Ooh,
Oh,
If you've ever seen this show before, it's the same game every time. I'm going to hold up two pieces of vinyl and you pick one that you want to talk about, ask a question about, or you love, or you don't love. So, Blondie or Shaka Khan?
oh,
Blondie.
I guess Blondie, though I love Shaka Khan, and I used to work at an arena and I got to see her play, which was really cool. I guess
Do you
we'll go
guys,
I gotta go with Blondie.
do you know which one is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Shaka Khan.
I mean, Blondie might be too, but I know for sure that Shaka Khan is.
I don't know what Blondie is. I don't know
I
if
don't know either.
it could have been before I ever paid attention to it, but
Um, so yeah, Blondie. What do you love about Blondie?
Blondie, well, okay, here's what where I got introduced to Blondie. I love old Hollywood movies and I always loved them growing up. So I loved like just blonde people. That's probably why I still have blonde hair. But I saw Debbie Harry singing on a commercial and she was singing Heart of Glass and I was like, who is this awesome lady? Like I need to listen to this music. And so that was my intro to Blondie. What about you? What do you have
My
to say about
intro to
Blondie?
Blondie is goes back to like my childhood. My mom is a fan of like Blondie and Madonna,
Mhm.
like Billy Idol, all the
Blonde people?
like the yeah, I guess more blonde people, but like kind of that stuff. And I remember whenever she would be like getting ready to go out on a date with my dad, she'd throw on like Blondie and be like doing her hair and stuff. And
It's a good soundtrack.
it was, and it like stuck with me. And so like I remember in like middle school and high school and stuff, I'd throw on some fucking Blondie when I was getting ready or something, and it just like got into her music more, and I was just like, wow, she's a boss. Like she's
She
really
is.
So cool.
She
had
Oh
is.
my
good taste,
gosh,
yeah.
she's so cool.
Yeah, and she's gonna release a new album this year, or well, maybe not this
Really?
year, but like in the next year. It's already recorded. My friend Matt plays guitar in Blondie, and so
Oh,
he gave me the scoop, and I'm telling everyone.
yay!
Yeah, I've been trying to get my
Anyway,
hands on the guitar now for some time
Yeah,
now.
I've seen Blondie play and I love the new music and it's just all I feel like she just does whatever she wants to and it's just cool. I love that.
yeah, she's got some like opinions that are strong, and I pretty much agree with things like she says she would never get married because it's just how men control women, and she just doesn't seem like a lady that wants to be controlled. And then,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess, like, the one time that I ever mentioned anything about Blondie in front of my parents, my Australian dad was like, "She was in Playboy!" And I was like, "That's why she never got married." 'Cause I had to listen to that all the time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's see if you know these bands, Santa and Brahms.
Well, who in the heck is Santa? I want to talk about that. They look fun.
Yeah, what is
Santa,
this?
80s Spanish metal. Actually,
Oh,
this singer is also from Spain.
oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're gonna be looking up Santa later.
Santa, yeah.
Oh yeah, check it out, Santa.
The artwork looks like Iron Maiden kind
Bronze
of.
looks cool too.
Yeah.
Write those down, write those
Let's write
down.
those down. Okay.
Well, actually, you'll be able to rewatch the episode, so you'll see them again.
Oh, lovely, even better.
Okay, this one's gonna be easy, I guess. Tina Turner. Joan Jett.
Oh, I
It's not
love both
easy
of them,
though.
though.
They're both awesome.
We have to talk about Joan though, because she's both of our like major inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just that photo, it just makes me happy. It just makes me smile. She's so cool.
She is.
You know, Joan Jett is a great person to think of when you are going through the flaming hoops of the circus, because after the Runaways broke up, 23 labels rejected her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So she said, "Screw this! I'm gonna make my own."
Yeah. See, she stuck to her intuition, knowing her and Kenny Laguna, knowing that they're onto something, even when other people didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
There we
cool.
go. There we go. Girls' school or
Oh,
Bonnie?
girls'
Girls'
school.
school.
I love both of them.
Really?
but
It was
Girls'
that
School.
easy? Gosh, poor
I
Bonnie.
saw girls' school at a tiny venue in like 2015 or something here in Minnesota, and they just slayed, and they were like the nicest, coolest people and they just came out and talked after, and oh, they're just cool.
That's actually a really cool story, because I know a lot of people saw them at Hell's Heroes last year, and it was like just big enough of a festival where like most people didn't really get to talk to them at all.
Yeah.
So if you want to see Girls' School, see them in Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah. Route 47, that's where they
Yep.
played.
You know what? Honestly, that's a serious pro tip. Like, you want to see like one of these like big famous iconic bands, but like you want to see them and maybe talk to them,
Yep.
go to like Iowa to see them.
Yep.
Don't go to LA. Don't go to Austin. Don't go to New York. Grace Slick
Go
and
to
Pat
wherever they're
Benatar.
from.
Oh, Pat
Oh,
Benatar.
Grace Slick.
Okay.
What's
Why
the
each
picture?
of them?
Grace Slick is amazing. She is like, and she's just like so opinionated and wild too, but like, I just love her so much. I don't even know what else to say. I just love her. She's
I
cool.
love Grace Slick too, but Pat Benatar is also one of those very nostalgic artists for me, like growing up listening to and being inspired by. I think I discovered Grace when I was in my younger 20s, so still awesome and influential for me, but Benatar and I, we go way back, so we
See,
just
Grace played at Woodstock, so she's already got me. Yeah.
Yeah.
fair.
She also these are two ladies with a lot of attitude. Grace Slick once did that I think it was like a show in like Central Park in Manhattan where she played topless because she was hot. She didn't feel like
Yeah,
wearing a
yeah.
shirt.
That's
So
what
cool.
I mean. She's so just like matter of fact, like, no, this is how it is. Like done.
And then Pat Benatar was very famous for her catsuit looks, and that was because she played a Halloween costume dressed as a cat in a catsuit, and the audience reacted a lot to that. And she was like, "Well, then this is the look."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Maybe
Fun fact.
Kiss makeup is in our future because we all dressed up as Kiss for last year.
Yeah.
Maybe Castle Rat is doing a lot of heavy makeup like that. So Cher or Coven?
Cher,
Mm-hmm.
love Cher.
Gosh,
We were
wow.
listening to Cher yesterday.
We were listening to
actually.
Cher yesterday. Yeah, yep. Cher had a hit when I was young.
Yeah,
I
it was her
think that
biggest hit.
was her
Believe.
biggest hit, Believe. And
Mhm.
that's when I got into Cher because I was like, wow, she is like so
Mhm.
cool. And then again, when I worked at an arena here in Minneapolis, I got to see her show and she changed outfits like every single song.
Wow,
And it was just so cool. It was cool.
that is so
What
cool.
about you and Cher? Do you have what's your Cher
Yeah, share your share.
Share, share.
Or sharing.
We're
We're
sharing.
sharing.
Um,
We're sharing.
I have a couple vinyls of Cher actually that I was gifted from people over the years, and if you're gonna listen to Cher, I recommend it on vinyl too, especially Sonny and Cher. Some
Mhm.
good stuff there. But yeah, I love her. I don't have anything against the other vinyl personally,
Yeah.
you know. I think these are all really good options,
Yeah,
but
it's supposed to be hard. But I do agree. Actually, Cher's got that very rich and kind of lower register. It is good on vinyl. Okay,
Yeah.
last set, Kate Bush or Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks.
I'm just so enamored by that
Kate Bush
vinyl
is
Kate
very
Bush,
cool,
though.
but
It's so cool.
I hate to say I don't know her music enough to,
Yeah,
you know.
I think I know maybe a song by Kate Bush. I feel kind of ashamed to admit that, but I feel out of default I have to say Stevie Nicks, but I really like that Kate Bush vinyl
Got the
cover.
really
That's
cool
really
cover.
cool. Makes me
Well,
want to listen to it.
I think it must be a calling to listen to more Kate Bush.
Yes,
She is the first artist ever to do pig gutturals. She
really.
invented
Yes.
extreme
Yep,
metal
I think that.
vocals.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
the song Get Out of My House by Kate Bush, she goes full on like donkey Eeyore screams.
Ooh, that's the first one we're gonna listen to.
All right.
Because I
Yeah,
don't know.
and then you can go for something softer and more fun, like "Oh to Be in Love." Of course, "Wuthering Heights" was her most famous song until she had her big comeback with that song that was featured on the
Stranger Things,
what?
wasn't it?
What? Well, it's the
Wasn't it
song.
Stranger Things?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And the song was "Running Up That Hill." So she had a big comeback. So
Oh,
Cher had her biggest hit when she was 52. Kate Bush, she had her big comeback like last year.
Yeah.
23 labels for Joan Jett. Tina Turner didn't get her first Grammy till she was 44 and had 4 kids and was a single mom.
Yeah.
So these are ladies to look up to.
They were
80s.
all apparently ahead of their time too, because
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time today, you two.
Thank you. This
Thank
has been
you. This was a
fun.
You're
blast.
welcome.
Really cool.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
come
be
back
in
anytime.
touch. I'm going to ask you lots of questions, especially about that in-ear rig.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, we'll get you all the stuff you need to know about that.
Okay, bye.
Bye.